All right, team. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about rapport, and we'll start with what is rapport? What is the definition of rapport? It's a term that you'll hear thrown around a lot in the sales industry, and a lot of times it's undefined or we're working off of what we used to define rapport as. So I'll start with the definition. Rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which the people understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. It's really that simple. Customers buy from people that they like and that they trust. And we like people who are like us or who are like we would want to be. If they have admirable traits or characteristics that we would like to have ourselves, these are people that we internally like. Think of your best friend growing up. Think about some experiences you had with them, and you'll find really quickly that you probably perceived your best friend to be very similar to you in many ways. You guys are from the same part of town. You guys probably speak very similar. Your interests are probably aligned, and this is why you like that person. Now, on the flip side, think of somebody that you hate, somebody that you dislike the most in the world. This person is probably somebody that you perceive to be very different than you. Their behaviors, the way that they think, their ethics, whatever it might be, the way that they speak, you perceive them to be very different from you. You want your customer to be thinking, wow, this guy's just like me. He understands me, he understands my problems, and he's here to help me. Humans are very intuitive. We've been conditioned for thousands of years to know when somebody is out to get us. So your goal in the sales process is to be three things. You want to be sharp as a tack, you want to be enthusiastic, and you want to be an expert in your field. You want to really know what you're doing. What you are actually thinking and feeling is always going to come across to the customer. So the easiest way to fix this before we worry about tonality or how you rapport building tactics is to fix what's going on in here between your two ears and make sure that your focus is in the right spot. You're working from a winning hand if you are worried about the customer's issues, you're excited about your job, you're an expert, you really know what you're doing, and you're coming from it from the standpoint of, I just want to help these people fix their issues. If you ever have that gotcha feeling after you make a sale, you are doing this completely wrong. The goal is not to make a one-time sale like I referenced in the prior video. The goal is to create a customer for life. So you should want the customer to walk out of here knowing that you are taking the time to actually fix their issues, to get to know them on a personal level, and to really find what's going to help them, and not just what's going to make me a quick sale. That's the whole commission breath deal, where they walk in and they feel like they've got money taped to their forehead, and the salesperson gets wide-eyed and excited, like, oh, I'm going to make my check here, versus, hey, there's another human being that's walking through our door. They have a problem that they're looking to solve, and our job is to help simplify that and cut out the potential for them to make mistakes in that buying decision. It may sound cliche, but in your head, you should be thinking, I like myself, I love my job, I love this customer that's coming through the door, I'm grateful that they're here, and I'm excited to help them solve their problem. Sales is a transference of energy. How you feel about your customer, about yourself, about your products is going to naturally come across in your communication with the customer. So number one, like we talked about before, I want to be sharp as a tack. They need to come in and know right from the jump that this is a person who knows what they're doing, that is intelligent and articulate and can help them solve their problems. You need to be enthusiastic. If they're going to feel what you feel and they come in and you're genuinely excited to see them, this is the kill them with kindness concept. It's very hard for a customer to come in and maintain that standoffish, don't talk to me type of energy when you are genuinely interested in them and when you want to help them and when you're so excited about your product that you just can't, it oozes out of you. It's not vomit. It's not something where you just go and blurt out everything and go over the top with your energy, but it's that bottled enthusiasm that we talk about of, I have had many customers like you, Mrs. Johnson, and I've had a lot of people who have the same issues that you're experiencing, and this product will fix it. We've proven that with all of our prior customers that had your issue, that this will work. and the confidence and the excitement of you are really going to help them improve the quality of their life is going to come across in the words you say, in your body language, and in your tone of voice. And in the beginning, it's hard to control those things because a new salesperson is nervous and shaky and not focusing on the customer, but rather internally in their own head, focusing on what's the next step, what bed do I take them to, how do I find the right comfort, what questions do I ask. So this goes back to what we talked about on the prior video as well. You have to master this sales process so that you can be more present with your customer in the moment. You need to know exactly what step you're going to, and it needs to be repeated so many times that it's the back of your hand. You don't even need to worry about it. And now all that mental attention that was spent on focusing on what step do I do next can be diverted and focused on, let me make a friend, let me really get to know who's in front of me here, let me find their problem, and let me build rapport through this process so that I am somebody at the end of the sale that they both like and trust, and that will be what pushes them over the edge to be able to make the decision at the end. I want to talk about the concept of being a chameleon. Those of you that have done one-on-one training with me, this is something we talk about a lot. You are always your authentic self. I would never recommend that you try and be somebody that you're not. However, we all have different versions of ourselves. For me, a day where I'm tired and hungry and out of it, I'm a very introverted person. I'm a lot more quiet. I'm not going to be as excited about my life. And then on a day where I'm having my best day ever, I'm going to be a lot more uppity with my energy. I'm still myself, but I'm different versions of myself. Your goal is to match and mirror the customer's energy, body language, speaking style. And to do that, you have to be a little bit of a chameleon. You have to be able to take on different hats and become a slightly different version of yourself so that you can vibe and connect with the person that's in front of you. So I'll use the analogy of a New York customer versus a Texas customer. Guy that grew up in New York, fast-paced lifestyle, busy city type of experience, speaking a little bit faster, moves with a little bit more of a quick pace, versus the Texas guy that grew up on a farm, that speaks with the southern drawl, that's very slow and deliberate in the way that he's speaking. Those two people will always butt heads. You got one guy that's going to go, oh, this Texas guy, he's not moving fast enough. Everything's so nonchalant, and he's not understanding me. And the flip side is, if the New Yorker is trying to sell the guy from Texas, the New Yorker's going to be moving so fast, the guy from Texas is going to go, man, this guy's breezing through everything. He's not taking his time. I'm not understanding what he's saying. This guy is so different from me in the way that we communicate, where we're from. I have a hard time connecting with him. So you need to be the one that can kind of be right in the middle and can match both of those two energies. When you have the New York customer that's lived that faster paced lifestyle and comes in with the energy to the store, you need to be able to lift your energy, match them, and move at their pace, communicate at their pace, match their tonality that they're using. And the same thing for the Texas guy. You need to be able to slow it down, bring your tone of voice down a little bit, and be a little bit more deliberate with the way you communicate. And these are skills that you'll pick up through time. And once you realize what you're doing, you'll be able to start making it more of a natural thing, where you're just naturally going to be able to match their energy, and you won't have to devote as much mental thought to that particular point. As a quick side note, rapport is not seeing the guy pull up in his truck and he's got a Cowboys bumper sticker, so you guys talk for 20 minutes about how much the Cowboys suck. Rapport, that time is valuable to everybody. And if you are to be perceived as an expert, time should be valuable to you as well. If you go into a doctor's office, a guy that's an expert, and everything is quiet and there's not a single customer in there, and you get in there and he's like, oh yeah, no big deal, we can chop it up. Doctors do not do that. They come in, they ask you a series of questions, they might ask you one or two quick little pleasantries, and then they're right to the point because their time is valuable and they are important. Same concept with you, and same concept for our consumers. The attention span of people in this day and age with cellular devices is going through the floor. And if you sit and start getting into the, hey, talking about you like fishing, I like fishing, let's talk about fishing for 20 minutes, we're not talking about anything that's pertinent to the sale, and that is more of the old style of rapport. We do not want to do that. So instead, you can still use that as a good opportunity to break the ice when they come in. I do the same thing. I'm looking at the hat, the way they dressed, what they drove up in, the weather, whatever. You can use a quick icebreaker to kind of shake off that initial sales resistance. And instead of hitting them with your process right away, now you're talking about something non-mattress related, and this will get them to warm up to you. But that needs to be kept to like 1 to 2 minutes on the max, or else you're just wasting their time and your time. Our goal is to be genuinely interested in the customer, not to appear interesting ourselves. So think back to when you met a new person. There's 2 types of scenarios here. First guy, he comes in and he tells you all about himself. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I grew up here, been here for 20 years, played basketball growing up. I went to Rio Rancho High School. I won all these awards while I was there. Now you're telling them about all your accolades, and if you think back in your life, the people that do this are people that you just genuinely dislike. It's like, yeah, cool, dude. I get that you're high on yourself, but appearing interested, look how many languages I speak. Look at this cool thing I can do. Look at these awards I've won. Means absolutely nothing to a customer. The person that is genuinely interested in the customer is the one that they will like the most. Think back to your life. The guy that you met that was like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Cameron. What's your name? Oh, sweet. Well, how long have you been out here in Albuquerque? What brought you out to Albuquerque? No way. You have a brother that lives out here that works at Sandia. That's cool. Are you getting a job over there, or what do you do for work? And you start to be genuinely interested in the person's life that's in front of you, and that is going to break away all resistance, and it's going to make them like you. It's comical because in that scenario, you're doing very little talking. You're asking intelligent questions from a standpoint of childlike curiosity. You genuinely want to know about the person and learn about them, and that is going to be music to a customer's ears. They will open up and tell you everything. This is the same concept as a sales principle of asking intelligent questions. If you will just be smart enough to ask good questions and then shut the heck up and listen to the customer, they'll tell you everything they need to know, you need to know to either sell them or to be in rapport with somebody. The psychology of why people like other people is actually really simple. There's a really good book that I'm going to recommend to all of you. Some of you have already read it. It is called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it's by Dale Carnegie. And I'm going to run through 1, 2, 3, 4 of the steps so that you can see these are all basic things that we all inherently know, but sometimes that we just need to be reminded of. So number 1, customer comes through the door. To be more likable and to be able to get into that stage of rapport, smile, right? What a concept. Have a big smile, be excited to see them, and let them know that you're happy that they're here. We're grateful that they're coming into our store. Number 2, get their name. Way too many times, even with veterans, do I see salespeople get to the end of the process and go, oh yeah, what was your name again? As a salesperson, and because I've lived this for a decade of my life, it's very easy to just be thinking about the process and thinking about selling them a bed and going through the motions and then realize, like, crap, I didn't even get these people's names. But if you think about your personal life when you're out and about, anytime you meet somebody, you remember their name and you use it frequently. So it becomes very weird when you're in a store going, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer. Get their name in the beginning and use it often. If you have to write it down, write it down. But what I've found is if you get their name and you start using it immediately, you will remember their name. So, you know what, John, come follow me over here. Let's try this bed. John, give me some feedback. How did you feel about that? Use their name frequently. It is the sweetest word in the English language to that customer. Think about when you're in a busy grocery store and you're tuned out, you're getting your groceries, and then you can hear from 4 aisles away somebody go, Cameron. And immediately it triggers your brain because you hear your name, and you've conditioned yourself that that's important to you, and it sparks your attention. Same thing happens with a customer. So get their name in the beginning, use it frequently. Number 3rd thing, get them talking about their favorite subject, which is themselves. People love to talk about themselves. It's the same reason, going back to the beginning of the video, that salespeople naturally want to just vomit all about themselves to a customer. So that salesperson, they're their own favorite subject. Same is true of a customer. So get them interested, be interested in them, and get them talking about themselves, And again, they will tell you everything that you need to know. Number 4, move with a sense of purpose. I'm going to give you guys the little analogy here, and I won't roll any salespeople under the bus. But I've had the benefit in my sales career of seeing very good salespeople and seeing very bad salespeople and everything in between. And what I've noticed is their body language from the jump with the poor people with the poor salespeople, is very different than what you see from an excellent salesperson. So when I first got here, I had a gentleman that when the door would ding, you would think somebody killed his dog. Like he was miserable. So the door would ding and he'd go, and he'd get up and he'd have terrible body language and he'd walk up, how's it going, guys? And the goal with this is not to be over the top with your energy. I don't need you being the used car salesperson and the door dings and you're waiting there. Hi, how's it going? I'm Cameron. The goal is to be in between, bottled enthusiasm. You're sitting down, you're doing your work, door dings. Hi guys, welcome in. How are you doing today? I'm excited to see you. I'm professional. I stand up. I move with purpose. And I care about you guys and helping you guys. And I'm grateful you're in front of me. So let's find the solution to whatever your problems are. That's a salesperson that's going to start off on the right foot versus one that's going to be like, all right, dude, sorry made you get up from your desk. Sorry, we want to help you pay your bills, right? So don't be the first guy, be the second guy. Move with a sense of purpose. You're the expert in the scenario. You want to make sure that the customer is going to feel confident in your abilities, and you also want to make sure that they're assured that they're at ease is a good way of saying that. A customer that is at ease and a salesperson that is at ease are people that can easily get into rapport. If a salesperson is so nervous and shaken in the beginning of the sale that they have trouble getting the customer comfortable because they're in their own head thinking about whatever million different things you can think about, that person is never going to be able to get in rapport with the customer because the customer's going to go right away, oh, I got a new guy, probably doesn't know what he's doing. We probably would be better off just walking through the store and showing ourselves around. So make sure that that's at the forefront of your mind is I need to get to the point where I'm confident enough with the sales process that I'm at ease and I'm confident, and that way I can build rapport and truly connect with somebody. Last thing I just want to touch on, and we're going to do an entire module on it, is tonality. Tonality, how you communicate, like Tony Robbins said earlier in this video, what you say, the words, the script is such a small percentage of what actually gets communicated. What really matters is your body language and the tone of voice that you say something in. Think when you're talking to a spouse or a significant other. You can say the same thing and get two very different results. If I go to my wife and I say, "What's wrong with you?" I'm going to get smacked upside the head and I'm coming to work tomorrow with a black eye. If I go to my wife and I go, what's wrong, babe? What's going on? Very different energy, very similar words, very different energy. One is coming from a place of I care about you, tell me what's going on so we can fix this. The other is coming from a place of flippant, what the heck's wrong with you? You're bugging me, right? So same thing goes with the customers. Zig Ziglar has a really good tonality example where he says the same sentence and he just changes where the emphasis is on which word in that sentence, gives it completely different meaning. So that for your training here is going to be, I didn't say he hit his dog, right? I didn't say he hit his dog. That guy said it. I didn't say he hit his dog. I implied it. I didn't say he hit his dog. It was that other guy over there. I didn't say he hit his dog. He actually hit the neighbor's dog. I didn't say he hit his dog. He was actually beating up the guy across the street. So these are all the same exact sentence, but where I put the emphasis completely changed the meaning. And as a new person, which this is one of the earlier modules in your training, as a new person, you don't know the process yet enough, and you've not repped this out enough to where you should be focusing on your tonality. You need to learn the script, learn the steps. The shortcut with tonality is really simple. What's going on between your two ears is what's coming out here. Period. You've been doing this all your life. You don't realize it, but you have. So naturally, if you are coming from the standpoint of, I'm going to get this customer, I need to close this sale, Cam's giving me a hard time on my numbers, I need to get some numbers out, and then that customer walks through the door, your energy, your tonality, your body language are all going to be off, and you will have a very hard time connecting with that customer. But the flip side of it is if you're more so in the mindset of, I want to help these people, I like myself, I love my job, I really care about these people, they're giving me a chance to help them, and that's all I care about. Whether they buy from me or buy from across the road, because they came across me, their day's going to be a little bit better. I'm going to lift their spirits, and they're going to be educated, and they're going to be able to make a logical, sound buying decision without making a mistake because they came through my door today. And if at every point in the sale, that's the process, hey, this guy's giving me a hard time, but you know what, man, he's a jelly bean. He's tough on the outside, soft on the inside. I just got to break through that shell. And the way I can do that is I just care so much about you, Mr. Customer, and fixing your issues that I can handle a little bit of resistance. And that's going to make a big difference. And naturally, you'll have a much better tone, a much better pace. Your body language will be better, and it'll make it a lot easier. We'll have a whole 15-minute module on tonality and how to use scarcity and all the different tones that will help influence customer emotion. That is more of a high-level thing. In the beginning, though, make a friend, learn about them, be interested in them genuinely, find what their problem is, and help them solve it. We're expert advisors. I'm on your side of the table, dude. This isn't confrontational selling. I'm here to help you. That's all I care about. Whether you buy with me or not, I want to help make this easy for you. You guys got a lot better things to do than go shop 17 stores. So let me help eliminate some of the potential mistakes that you might come across. If your intent is coming from that place, the customer's resistance will just melt away. You'll see it in real time. I'll see you guys on the next video. If you found value in this video, please pop some feedback down into the comments below. If there's a good point that I may have missed, we potentially will cover it in later modules. But please feel free, give your 2 cents. The beautiful thing about the culture that we have is we have a culture of $1 million writers, 6-figure earners, and top performers from multiple industries, but especially from the mattress industry. So if you are one of those people that's a part of this company that's in that category of I'm a top performer everywhere I go, and I've done really well in this industry, your input is so valuable to a new person. And for a lot of you guys, I'm using you guys as the example when I'm training a new person. So when they see the comments below, that's something that will really help fast track a new hire and help the engagement with this. So pop your feedback down below, and I will catch you guys on the next video.